My wife said, "I make more money, I make the rules." I said, "You're absolutely right." Then I quit my job and filed for alimony. When her lawyer explained how much she'd owe me monthly, she begged me to reconsider. I, 35 male, have been married to Veronica, 33, for 8 years. We met in college, got married young, and built what I thought was a solid partnership. For context, I work as a graphic designer at a mid-size marketing firm, making about $65K a year. Not amazing money, but decent. Veronica started as a junior analyst at a tech company and has absolutely crushed it. She's now a VP, making $185K plus bonuses. I've always been proud of her success, genuinely. When she got each promotion, I was the one planning celebrations, telling everyone how amazing my wife is. I took on more household duties so she could focus on her career. Made sense, right? But something shifted about 6 months ago when she hit that VP level. Small things at first. She'd make comments about how I should dress better, since I represent her now. Started questioning my purchases. Not big ones, just like if I bought name brand cereal instead of generic. "Must be nice to spend my money on Honey Nut Cheerios," she'd say, half joking, but not really. Then came the house meetings. That's what she called them, where she'd present actual PowerPoints about our finances and household management. I kid you not, she had slides titled Optimization Opportunities and Resource Allocation. Started assigning me KPIs for household tasks. I had to achieve 95% satisfaction rate on meal prep. She created a scoring system and maintained the house at presentation-ready status at all times. I tried talking to her about how this felt demeaning. Her response? "Babe, I'm just bringing my work skills home to help us be more efficient. Since I'm carrying us financially, I think it's fair I set the standards." The breaking point came 3 weeks ago. We were at her company holiday party. Some exec's wife asked what I did, and before I could answer, Veronica jumped in. "Oh, he does a little design work, but really I'm the breadwinner. Someone has to keep the home fires burning, right, honey?" Then she literally patted my head. Patted my head. But the real kicker was the car incident last week. My trusty Honda finally died. Transmission went. I'd been saving for a down payment on a modest replacement. Found a great deal on a used Mazda. Went to discuss it with her. "Why would you need a car?" she asked, not even looking up from her laptop. "I can drop you at work on my way in." Your office is 40 minutes opposite direction from mine." "Then take the bus. We need to be smarter with our money. It's my savings from my salary." That's when she said it. Looked me dead in the eyes. "Your salary? Please, your entire yearly income doesn't even cover our property taxes. I make the money, I make the rules. If I say no car, then no car." I stared at her for probably 10 seconds. Then I smiled. "You're absolutely right." She looked surprised but pleased. "Good. I'm glad you understand." I went to my computer and started typing. She asked what I was doing. "Just sending an email." It was my resignation letter, effective immediately. The next morning, while she was at spin class, I went to see a lawyer. Learned some interesting things about spousal support in our state. See, when one spouse significantly out-earns the other, and the lower-earning spouse has sacrificed career advancement for the relationship, all those household duties, anyone? Alimony can be substantial, especially when there's evidence of financial control and emotional abuse. Veronica came home that evening to find me on the couch with my laptop. "Why are you home? Shouldn't you be at work?" "Oh, I quit. Since my salary doesn't matter anyway, figured why bother." The color drained from her face. "You what? Adrian, that's not funny." "Not joking. You were right. You make the money, you make the rules. So I'm following your logic. Why work for peanuts when you can support us both?" "This is insane. Go apologize and get your job back." "No thanks. I'm actually thinking of taking some time to find myself. Maybe write a novel or learn pottery." She went ballistic. But here's the thing. She couldn't actually force me to work. And the more she yelled about me being a leech and living off her money, the more I documented. Today, she got served with divorce papers and my alimony request. Her lawyer called her while she was still processing the paperwork. I could hear her shrieking from the other room. "What do you mean, $4,500 a month?" She came storming into the bedroom where I was packing. $4,500? Are you insane? Actually, my lawyer says I could probably get more, but I wanted to be reasonable. Reasonable? You quit your job out of spite. No, I quit because you made it clear my contribution was worthless, just following your rules, remember? She actually dropped to her knees. Please, please don't do this. We can work this out. Work it out? Like one of your PowerPoints? Should I prepare a presentation on why my feelings matter? I'm staying with my brother while I figure out next steps. Part of me feels guilty. I do still love her, or at least who she used to be. But another part of me is just tired. Tired of being treated like an employee in my own marriage. Tired of having my contributions minimized. We'll update when things develop. Update 1. Wow, this blew up. Thanks for all the support and the few of you calling me petty. You're not wrong, lol. So a lot has happened. Buckle up. First, I need to address something. No. I'm not actually planning to live off alimony forever like some people suggested. I have savings, I have skills, and I already have some freelance work lined up. This was about making a point. After the initial papers were served, Veronica went through what I can only describe as the 5 stages of grief. But, like, the corporate executive version. Denial. She sent me a calendar invite for a reconciliation meeting with an agenda and everything. I declined the invite. Anger. She CC'd me on an email to both our families calling me a gold digger and saying I was manipulating the system. My mom called me laughing, saying, "Isn't she the one who bought a $3,000 purse last month while telling you not to buy name-brand cereal?" Bargaining. This was wild. She showed up at my brother's place with a literal contract. I'm not making this up. She had drafted a marital performance agreement where I would return to work within 30 days and she would adjust her communication style to be more collaborative. She actually used the phrase synergistic partnership to describe our marriage. I asked her if I needed to sign it in triplicate. Depression. Her assistant, she has her assistant handle personal stuff too, called to cancel the divorce meditation because Veronica was taking a mental health day. Found out later from a mutual friend she spent it drinking wine and ugly crying to her houseplants. Acceptance. Just kidding, we haven't gotten there yet. What actually happened was more interesting. Her lawyer, Mitchell something, reached out to mine for a settlement conference. My lawyer, bless her, is this tiny woman named Deb, who apparently eats corporate types for breakfast. She used to work for some big shot firm but went solo to actually help people instead of protecting assets. The meeting was illuminating. Veronica came in full power suit, brought her lawyer and a financial advisor. I showed up in jeans and a Pokemon t-shirt. Petty? Yes. Satisfying? Absolutely. Mitchell started with, "My client is willing to offer a one-time payment of $20,000 for Mr. Ross to waive all rights to spousal support." Deb actually laughed. "Your client makes over $200K annually, has publicly humiliated Mr. Ross, created a hostile home environment, and exercised financial control. Would you like to try again with a real offer?" Veronica interrupted. "He quit his job to spite me. After you told him his income was worthless and attempted to control his access to transportation," Deb shot back. "We have documentation of financial abuse, emotional manipulation, and—" "What documentation?" Mitchell asked. That's when I pulled out my phone. See, Veronica loves to text, loves to email, loves to send voice notes, and I've saved every single one from the past 6 months. Your salary is a rounding error in our finances. I've scheduled you for grocery shopping at 2 p.m. Don't deviate from the list I sent. Why do you need new shoes? The ones you have are fine. Stop wasting my money. Picked up your dry cleaning since you can't seem to manage basic tasks. The best one was a voice note where she literally said, "I don't understand why you're upset about the car thing. It's not like you contribute enough to deserve one anyway." The financial advisor actually winced at that one. But here's where it got really interesting. Veronica tried to pull a power move. "Fine, I'll quit my job, then neither of us will have income." Mitchell looked like he wanted to die. "Veronica, that's not..." "It's a negotiation tactic, Mitchell. I learned it in my executive leadership course." Deb leaned back in her chair, smiling. "Miss Chen, are you seriously suggesting you'll voluntarily impoverish yourself to avoid supporting the spouse you've financially controlled for years? Please do go ahead. I'm sure the judge will find that fascinating." The meeting ended with Mitchell promising to circle back with a more reasonable offer. But here's the twist nobody saw coming, including me. That night, Veronica showed up at my brother's place. Not with lawyers or contracts or PowerPoints. Just her, in sweats, carrying Thai food from our favorite place. Can we just talk like humans, not like whatever we've become? I almost said no, but she looked so different, tired, smaller somehow. 5 minutes, I said. We sat on the front steps. She opened the pad thai and handed me a fork. I fucked up, she said quietly, like monumentally. I didn't say anything. I turned into my dad. She laughed bitterly. You remember how you used to treat my mom? Always reminding her who paid the bills? I swore I'd never, but I did exactly that, didn't I? Yeah, you did. The PowerPoints were too much, weren't they? Veronica, you made me submit weekly performance reviews on loading the dishwasher. She actually laughed. Like a real laugh. God, I'm such an asshole. When did I become this person? We talked for 2 hours. Really talked. About how the pressure at work had been crushing her. How her boss kept reminding her she was the diversity hire who made good and couldn't slip up. How she felt like if she wasn't perfect at everything, including our marriage, she'd lose it all. That's not an excuse, she said quickly. I'm not trying to justify it. I need you to know it wasn't about you. I got so caught up in being the boss at work, I forgot how to turn it off. So what now? I asked. I don't know. I know I love you. I know I miss you. I know I've been a nightmare to live with, but I don't know if that's enough. She left the food and went home. I'm still processing. My lawyer says I'm an idiot for even talking to her. My brother says I'm an even bigger idiot for considering, well, anything other than divorce. But here's the thing. The Veronica on those steps, that was the woman I married. The question is whether she's really back, or if this is just another negotiation tactic. I guess we'll see. Update 2. Okay, so a lot of you were not happy about me talking to Veronica. I get it. Don't fall for it. She's manipulating you. Once a bosszilla, always a bosszilla. Trust me, I heard you all. But things have taken some unexpected turns. After the Thai food talk, I didn't hear from Veronica for a week. Radio silence. Then I got an email that just said, I've been thinking, can we meet Saturday? Neutral location. No lawyers. Against my lawyer's advice, Deb literally said, you're killing me, Adrian. I agreed. We met at this coffee shop downtown. Public, neutral, easy to leave if needed. She showed up looking different. Hair in a messy bun, no makeup, wearing jeans and an old college sweatshirt. The Veronica I knew would never leave the house looking less than Instagram ready. I quit, she said before even sitting down. Quit what? My job. I quit my job. I nearly choked on my coffee. You what? That's insane. Is it though? More insane than my husband quitting his job because I was being an insufferable nightmare? Veronica, your career is everything to you. No, she said quietly. I thought it was. But when faced with losing my marriage over it, turns out it's just a job. She pulled out her phone and showed me an email. Her resignation, effective end of month. Already sent. This doesn't fix everything, I said carefully. I know, but I can't fix us while I'm drowning in that toxic environment. My boss literally told me last week that taking time to deal with personal drama was why women plateau in leadership. You know what I realized? I don't want to lead if it means becoming him. Here's where it gets complicated. Her quitting meant our financial situation was about to dramatically change. No more $185 salary, no more bonuses. She had savings, but not enough to maintain our lifestyle long term. So what's your plan? I asked. I'm taking 3 months to figure that out. I've already got some consulting offers, but I want to be strategic about next steps. She paused. I also started seeing a therapist. Individual or couples? Individual for now. Dr. Patel says I need to figure out why I turned into my father before I can be a good partner to anyone. We talked for 3 hours. About therapy, about our marriage, about where things went wrong. She showed me notes from her therapy sessions, with her therapist's permission, where she'd mapped out how her behavior had escalated. It was brutal to read. I actually used corporate jargon to describe our sex life, she said, mortified. I called it bi-weekly performance metrics. Who does that? You also made me fill out a satisfaction survey afterward once. Oh God, I forgot about that. She buried her face in her hands. Please tell me you're making that up. I gave you 3 stars out of 5 just to see what would happen. You scheduled a debrief meeting for the next morning. We both started laughing, like really laughing, the kind where you can't breathe and people stare. But then she got serious. Adrian, I know I hurt you. I know I made you feel small and worthless and like an employee in your own home. I can't undo that, but I want to try to make it right. Not the corporate way with contracts and agreements. The real way, the hard way. What does that mean? It means I keep going to therapy. We start couples counseling if you're willing. I learn how to be a partner again, not a boss. And we rebuild, if you'll have me. Here's what shocked everyone, including me. I said yes. Not to getting back together immediately, but to trying. We've been doing couples therapy for 2 weeks now. Dr. Martinez is this no-nonsense woman who calls us both on our shit. First session, she looked at Veronica and said, "You turned your marriage into a corporation." Then looked at me. "And you chose the nuclear option instead of setting boundaries earlier." Fair point. Veronica's been staying in the house while I'm still at my brother's, but we're doing marriage meetings, her term, but they're actually helpful. No PowerPoints, no agendas, just talking about feelings and needs and boundaries. Last session, she said something that hit hard. I got so focused on winning at life that I forgot it wasn't a competition, especially not with you. We're supposed to be on the same team. The divorce is on hold for now. My lawyer thinks I'm insane. She's going to go right back to her old ways the moment she gets another high-powered job, Deb warned. Maybe. But here's what I'm seeing. She's actually doing the work in therapy. She's reached out to her mom to apologize for defending her dad's behavior all these years. She asked me to help her find a job that won't consume her life. She hasn't made a single PowerPoint about our relationship in 3 weeks. Yes, that's now a metric we track. Yesterday she texted me, "I found your car fund envelope in the closet. It has $3,200 in it. Want to go car shopping this weekend? Your choice, your money, your decision. I'll just be there for moral support and to remind you that you deserve something nice." It's not perfect. We've got a long way to go. But for the first time in months, I'm actually hopeful. We'll update again in a few weeks. And before anyone asks, yes, I'm keeping all the documentation. I'm hopeful, not stupid. Final update. Hey everyone. Figured I owed you all a final update, since so many of you have been invested in this roller coaster. So, we're still married. I know, half of you are cheering and half are ready to throw your phones. Hear me out. The past 2 months have been intense. Therapy twice a week, individual for both of us, couples once a week. Dr. Martinez doesn't pull punches. One session, she told Veronica, "You weaponized your success to diminish your partner." Then turned to me. "And you let resentment build until you went nuclear instead of communicating boundaries." Ouch, but fair. Here's what changed everything. Veronica got a job offer. Big tech company, VP position, $200K base. The old me would have panicked. The old her would have taken it without discussion. Instead, she came home and said, "We need to talk about this together." She'd printed out, not PowerPointed, the offer details. We went through it line by line, the hours, the travel, the expectations. Then she said something that floored me. "I want to counteroffer. Less money, but firm boundaries on hours and no weekend emails. If they say no, I walk." You'd walk away from 200K? I'd walk away from becoming that person again. They negotiated. She ended up with 165K, but with actual work-life balance written into her contract. First woman in that company to get that, apparently. But here's the real test. How we handled it when she started the new job. First day, she came home at 5:30. "How was it?" I asked. "Good. Challenging, but good. Also, I have something for you." She handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for $2,000. "What's this?" "Your car fund contribution. I know you've been saving, but I want to help. Not control, not decide, just contribute, if you want it." I did want it. We went car shopping that weekend. I found a great used Mazda. Yes, the same model I'd wanted before. When the salesman tried to talk to Veronica about financing, she pointed at me. "He's the buyer. I'm just here for moral support." Small thing? Maybe, but it meant everything. We moved back in together last month. The house feels different now. No PowerPoints on the fridge, no performance reviews, just normal couple stuff. We take turns cooking. We split chores based on who hates what less. She despises vacuuming. I loathe bathroom cleaning, so we traded. The real victory? Last week, her boss called during dinner. Old Veronica would have answered immediately. New Veronica looked at the phone, looked at me, and declined the call. It can wait until tomorrow, she said. I started working again too, freelance for now, building up my client base. Making decent money actually. Not 185K, but enough that I feel like I'm contributing. She's been my biggest cheerleader, referring clients and hyping my work to anyone who'll listen. Are we perfect? Hell no. She still slips sometimes. Caught her making a spreadsheet for grocery shopping last week. But when I raised an eyebrow, she laughed and deleted it. Old habits, she said sheepishly. I slip too. Sometimes I still get defensive about money stuff. Working on it in therapy. But we're trying. Really trying. And more importantly, we're succeeding. The woman who patted my head at her company party, she's gone. The man who quit his job out of spite, also gone. What's left is two people who love each other, who've done the work, and who now know what they almost lost. Last thing, remember that financial advisor from the settlement conference? He called Veronica last month. Hey, if you're still interested in investment strategies for high earners. Her response? Thanks, but my husband and I make those decisions together now. He hung up real quick after that. So that's it. Not the ending most of you expected, I'm sure. No dramatic divorce, no alimony payments, no revenge success story. Just two people who pulled their heads out of their asses in time to save something worth saving. To those in similar situations, sometimes people can change. Not always, but sometimes. The key is whether they're willing to do the actual work, not just make promises. Veronica did the work. So did I. We're good now. Really good. Thanks for following along on this weird journey. I'm gonna go enjoy dinner with my wife, who hasn't made a single PowerPoint about optimal meal planning in 2 months. Okay, she made one, but she deleted it when I caught her. Progress. Take care, everyone.